Hi there, I'm Professor Jurus, and I just wanted to make you a quick video and go over the 4x5 pinhole camera by the Levy Company. Now these are available at B&H Photo and directly from the Levy Company. I bought mine from B&H Photo and it was really cheap. I think it was like $60 maybe. So I was really impressed with the quality of it and stuff when I got it, and I'm pretty impressed with the images I've taken with it. Now, to start out with, the reason I have the camera over here, I have this on a tripod, is to point out and to make you aware that you're going to get the best images, the best pinhole images on a tripod. And it should be a sturdy tripod, one that's not going to like wobble around and stuff. So this is a fairly expensive tripod, but it's also very stable. And it has this pistol grip here where I can move this around and, you know, do all kind of pictures, do all kind of angles and stuff with it. So it's a good tripod. When you buy your tripod, you should plan on spending, I would say, around, if you're really into photography and you really want to do this as a career, I would say anywhere from $300 to $500 to get a good tripod. Going down to like Walmart and buying the $29 tripod, you know, that just doesn't cut it for being a pro, if you want to be a pro, because it's going to wiggle all the time. And actually, I would just shoot pictures hand holding before I would use one of those tripods. So get yourself a good tripod like a Monofrado from B&H. And you can get them in aluminum, steel, carbon fiber. They come in a lot of different ways. And I highly recommend getting one of these heads like this so you can easily adjust the angles on it. Sometimes you can find really good old Bogan tripods. And again, I have a whole video that's on tripods, so I would really suggest you look at that also. But what I really wanted to make this video about is this camera and just basically show you how to use it. So first thing I'm going to do is take it off of the tripod, and you'll notice I have a tripod mount on it that just goes onto there. And I could actually put a mount on here too, and you can see it scratched, the camera scratched up a little bit. I've been using it, but I could put one of these tripod mounts on here too, and I could easily flip it. And the reason you'd want to, you know, flip the camera is if you wanted to take a 4x5 vertical, or if you wanted to take a 4x5 landscape. So the portrait mode would be that way, the landscape mode would be that way. I put this little Howler Brothers sticker on here. That doesn't come with it. I just put that on there. So a shout out to Howler Brothers. What we want to talk about basically though is like using this camera. So to start with, you're going to need a 4x5 film holder, and you're going to need some 4x5 film. And you know, what I did was I put a sheet of film in this box. This was an empty photo box, just to show you how these open. So you'll have to take your knife and cut this here and here before you go in the darkroom. And then when you go in the darkroom, what you're going to do is open up this box. And what I mean by darkroom is a dark loading closet, not a regular darkroom with safe lights on. This has to be loaded in complete darkness. And I do have another video just on loading the film holder, but I'm just going to cover this really quick too, so you can get you rolling. But so when you open your box of film, there's going to be three lids actually. So you take this lid off, and then there's another lid, and then there's the bottom of the box, sort of three pieces. And when you take your film out, it's going to be in one of these aluminum type of bags, and you have to tear it. And some of them have plastic now that are taped, so it depends on what type of film or what brand you're getting. And when you pull this little piece of cardboard out, all your film is going to be stacked in between this piece of cardboard. So here's a sheet of the Tri-X in here. And again, when you're looking at film, there's a base side and there's the emulsion side, and then there's notches up in the corner. And these notches, actually, you can look at a chart, and these will identify the type of film that you're using. So they're different on all films. And this notch is basically Tri-X. So it not only identifies the type of film, but it identifies the emulsion side of the film. Because when you go in total darkness, this is really important too. When you go in total darkness, you have to know which is the emulsion side that's going to face the, you know, be facing where the whole pinhole is, so it's going to be exposed. If you put it in this way, you'll still get some type of imagery depending upon how long you leave it out, but it's going to be very thin, and it's also not going to be very sharp doing it that way. So you have to put the film in the film holder correctly. So you're going to be doing this in total darkness. Now, again, there's a video just on loading film holders, and I talk more about film holders, but when I go into the darkroom, what I do is I'll set these up on a clean surface, and already had, you know, blowed them out with some air So I use the air to clean these out. And you got to be careful you don't blow it apart or anything, because these little hinges right here, you could actually damage those if you hit it with a lot of air, like hard air. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip this little thing open, and then grabbing this in your right hand, okay, with the notches, touching it just like I'm doing right here, that means the emulsion is facing you. And when you're using your right hand, there's no other way that it can be when you're holding it like this and it's in that corner. Holding it down like this, the emulsion is still facing toward you. So that's the part that faces out in the film holder. Now, if you look at the film holder in the light, there's actually a little set of slides underneath here that the film slides under. And what I normally do is just give this a little flick and slide it in there. And then you can see the film is in the film holder. I've had a lot of students mess up on this part in the dark because they're nervous or something, or they just want to get out of there, but they'll put it into the wrong slot. So they'll just stick it in this top slot where the actual dark slide is, and then they find they can't hold the slide. And sometimes they actually get the slide closed when the film is incorrectly. What happens is when you go to take a picture, this will fall out inside the camera. So you need to make sure that I usually just tweak it like that and then slide it in, and then it's in there correctly. And then you will close you'd close the dark slide. Now in this particular holder, let's say I only have one piece of film. So if I took this out and I forgot, I could put a little mark on here, I guess, but if I forgot which side the film is on, I really wouldn't know. But because I only have one piece in here, I would use the black side of this film holder. Of the dark slide. So when I slide this back in, if you notice there's a white side and there's a black side. The black side means that the holder is exposed. So this one's empty, so I'm just going to mark it as exposed. This side is empty. So you can put two sheets in this, and this is the side that's ready to go. So when I put this in my camera, and it's, again, your total, I'm going to put it in the camera in a minute, but I just want to show you what happens here. And I pull this out. I'll pull this out and I'll take my picture, and then I'll flip the slide around. See, I'm flipping it around and I'm putting the black side out. And if you ever forget, or you're in the dark and you're trying to do this, the black side is smooth, okay, and the other side has notches on it, the side that says it's not been exposed yet. So we're going to pretend this hasn't been exposed, and we're going to put this into the camera. So on the back of these cameras, this is a really slick system they've come up with. They come up with these two dowel rods, a bigger one and a smaller one, and then they have a channel in here that the dowel rods slide into. So opening up the back right here, I'll take this piece of wood out, and I want to set this someplace where I won't lose it, like throw it in your camera bag or something. But then again, see, I pick up the dark slide. Now I know which side has the film in, the white side. So I'm just going to stick this down into here, and they have some some foam against here that's going to make this really light tight. And I'm going to push this down into here, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the small dowel rod down there first and push it down, and I'll drop the next dowel rod down there. And that's really going to secure that film holder in there tight. So it's going to be tight that it's not going to expose your film. So what I would do then is, say I was going to take a picture straight ahead, is I'm going to take the film holder out, okay, like that. I can just set this down for a second. And then on my camera, this is actually the shutter right here. So what I'm going to do then is when I get ready to take a picture, I'm just going to go like this, and then I expose my pinhole. And the time that I expose the pinhole will actually depend on the lighting. Like right now it's overcast, so they actually give you this little piece of paper right here as a starting point for these cameras, and this is I found to be a pretty good starting point. So you have to look at the camera that you have, okay? So the focal length, they have the super wide angle, the wide angle. This camera is the wide angle, so it has a 75mm lens in conjunction with the 4x5 film that makes it a wide angle. And what they're saying is that in bright sun, 2 seconds, and cloudy day, 6 seconds. Well, I've already done a number of tests. I've probably shot about 50 sheets of film through this already, and I find that actually doubling those times will give you a little bit better negative. So on a bright sunny day, I would go 4 seconds, and I'm talking about bright sunny. And then on a cloudy day like today, I would go 12 seconds. So what I would do is, say I'm taking the picture, I'm going to go ahead and open this, and then I can time this on my watch or my phone, or I can even count 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000 until I get to the right exposure time. And then I'm simply going to close this back up like that, and then I can put my dark slide back in. And again, I'd be putting the dark slide in right here like that. So let's say you want to get started now what I would do is take this out and, you know, put another one in here if I want to take a picture. But let's say you're at home and you want to get started and you don't have a tripod yet. Well, you could still do stuff. The reason you're wondering why these gorgeous peppers are here is because I just wanted to show you, you could do like a still life too of these things. And again, depending if you get the wide angle or the super wide angle, and I recommend just starting with the wide angle, but you can do like a lot of tabletop stuff. So I could actually set this up and it could be this close when you take it. But you want the camera in a very stationary position. You can't take pictures like this with the pinhole unless you want like total movement. And everything will be like blurry. And the images are soft anyway with the pinhole, which is one of the very alluring qualities that you get by using a pinhole. But the images have a certain mystique to them because they were done with a pinhole. They don't look like they were taken with any other camera. And again, it's a lensless camera. You're simply taking a picture of a pinhole that's been drilled or laser cut through a piece of brass. So the images come out really cool. But I could simply, you know, take this picture like this by, again, opening my shutter like that, counting the right time that I would use for my exposure. Now I can see the sun is coming out, so I'd go a little bit shorter, and then closing this. Now, as far as exposure goes, you can, again, in the class I'm going to have, if you go to ilford.com, you can look under resources, and they actually have a pinhole calculator. And the pinhole that's on this camera is f256. So using either a light meter on your phone, using a handheld light meter like a Sekonic, using even a 35mm camera's light meter, you can determine what your exposure would be at like f22, and then keep doubling that until you get to f265, and then that would tell you, you know, and count your numbers down, and you would actually know that, you know, every time you move one stop, it doubles the exposure, and that's the way you could actually figure out the exact perfect exposure for whatever lighting you're in. But generally with this, another thing I'd like to point out is generally you're going to be taking these pictures all outside. You know, very rarely, unless you have a room that's very bright. If you have a room where sun pours in and stuff, and that, you know, you could really do some gorgeous stuff like that. But as you can see, I live in the woods, so have very little sun coming in my house. But if you live in a house that has a lot of sun, you know, great. Or if you go to the beach, you know, coming up, not sure if we'll have any snow before this class is over, but, you know, snowy days, take good pictures. Or, you know, usually things like, you know, that are very bright too come out, you know, really cool in the picture. So that's basically it as far as this camera is concerned. So if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. And you know, if you like this video, smash that subscribe button, you know, and I'll let you know when the next videos come up and stuff. So thank you. Have a good day.